Hello, my name is Daniel, and welcome to Chasing Perfection. Last video we removed the engine and transmission, and this video was going to be about cleaning up the engine and transmission, but that's pretty boring, so we're going to be talking about something else. So today we're going to talk about two tools from Snap-on that I actually think are worth the money. Like you, I work hard for my money and I have limited time, so making sure I use them both wisely is really important. As a disclaimer, this is not an endorsement for any of those companies or whether or not you should buy expensive tools, but just tools that I actually think are worth the money. And to be honest, for 90% of people, any tool will do the job. So I understand why people think it's a waste of money to buy expensive tools. And to be honest, since I stopped being a full-time mechanic, I don't buy expensive tools. I think the Icon tools from Harbor Freight do 90% of the work that the expensive tools do at a fraction of the cost. So why? Why do mechanics buy expensive tools? Well, in my opinion, the tool guy always seems to know when you're the most frustrated at your job. You've spent 30 minutes upside down in a car interior on a task that you thought was simple, calling the engineer every obscenity that you can think of, and guess who comes a-knocking? The tool guy. He comes up and he asks you how your day is going. But don't let him fool you. He knows how your day is going. It's shit. Then he lures you onto his truck, shows you some random tool you didn't know existed, and tells you to get naked. And well, these are two tools that I thought was worth getting naked for. Here we have a set of intermediate sockets. These ones are 3/8 drive, but you can get them in 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Just depends on which one you want. I tend to work more with 3/8, so I bought 3/8 ones. And unfortunately, you can only get these from the more expensive tool brands. I wish that the cheaper tool brands carried them, but unfortunately you can't get them from them. But here's why I really like these sockets. These sockets are like the Goldilocks of sockets. They're deeper than a shallow socket, but they're shallower than a deeper socket. For example, the intermediate socket will do 99% of what a shallow socket is needed for, and 99% of what a deep socket is needed for. You will entirely need to get rid of the other sets of sockets. However, the times that you will need them will be substantially less. So that means you can buy the one nice expensive set of sockets and two cheaper versions of the shallow sockets and the deep sockets, instead of having an expensive set of shallow sockets and an expensive set of deep sockets. This frees up a lot of time because you don't need to search for if a shallow socket works in one area or a deep socket works in one area, or if you need a small extension that'll work for the shallow socket. So I can't recommend these sockets enough. My only complaint is that cheaper tool brands don't make them, and you have to go to the large name brand companies like Snap-on, Matco, or Cornwell, those companies. My second tool recommendation is this ratchet right here. It looks like a 1/4 drive ratchet, but it contains a 3/8 head. It fits in the area of a smaller ratchet, but you don't need to grab another set of sockets to do the job. That's really important because you have to keep track of less tools. And when you're working on a lot of vehicles or you're working on other people's vehicles, there's nothing worse than leaving a socket in someone's car or leaving a socket in someone's on top of their cowl, and then it's gone forever and you have to buy another expensive tool. This one is especially helpful because if you have hard to reach spark plugs, this one will still do it without having to add an adapter to go to another extension. This ratchet has saved me quite a bit of time, and it's one of the Snap-on tools that I actually religiously use. So what do you think are some other cool tools that you think are actually worth the money? And leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.